Bill McIntosh teaches AI non-stop. Success is his game, marketing's his fame. McIntosh, the marketing ace, follow his lead to the winning place with AI and a clever spin. Join him now, learn to win. Learn his way, don't delay. If you do, you'll make your fortune today.
Hey, welcome to the show. I'm your host, Bill McIntosh. And the point of this show is so that I can help you on your journey as an entrepreneur. So I've been doing this a long time. I've been building successful online businesses for over 25 years now, and I have generated over $100 million in revenue across all of my businesses over all that time. And I've made it my mission in life to help as many fellow entrepreneurs like you as I can. And so the topic of this show is all about starting, building, growing and scaling an online business. Or if you already have a business that you want to grow using online methods, we talk about that as well. And with a heavy focus on starting your first online business or your next. So we talk a lot about getting started with your online business and getting it launched, getting your first dollar in the door, and then scaling it up from there. So that is what this show is all about. And to do me a favor, give me a very warm, a very excited welcome in the chat. Just give me a big hello and let me know where you're at in the world. So let me know, say hi, and then let me know where in the world are you located. And I want to do some shout outs. And I love seeing my international audience, seeing people joining me from all over the planet. That is pretty fun. And while we wait for people to give us hellos in the chat, I have a very important question for our very own producer, Nick. It's vital. It's really, really important.
Oh boy, what's the question?
When is a door not a door?
I don't know.
When it's a jar.
Oh, that's good. Is that O3?
Yes, that was ChatGPT 03 feeding me my dad jokes. So there you go. So
nice.
Scale, what's the score? From 0 to 10, 10 being best. What is the score?
I would say we're starting off strong. That's an 8. I'll say 8.1.
8.1. All right. Audience, what do you rate it? All right, cool. I see the hellos coming in. And it's also an interesting thing. We have delays that happen when I talk about stuff on mic. And by the time you guys hear it, you answer and the answers come back. There's always a little bit of a delay. So that was a nice way to kill some time to let you all say hello. So I see greetings from Blake. Got JB. I see Blake is in Dallas, by the way. We got M Channel. Sharon is freezing in Connecticut. Oh, sorry about that, Sharon. Hopefully it warms up. Warm greetings on a cold day from Mitch in Short Gap, West Virginia. Thank you, Mitch. Also known as My Duck. Hello from Scotland. Hey, Tom, the land of my forefathers. Hello from Virginia. Says that's from Earl or Virginia Beach and snowing. Wow. Oh, a lot of cold weather on the East Coast, sounds like. Got some good scores. They agree with you. Blake gives that that dad joke an 8. So does My Ducky. Hello, Dan Carr in the UK. We got Tony Dingo. Hey, Tony. Angelo, hello, Angelo, and hello, Chris in sunny California. Yeah, it is nice today, isn't it? Yeah. We got Craig, watch me now over in Poland. That's the other half of my ancestors. So we got both of my ancestors' homelands reporting in here.
Homeworld
and Scotland. So then, and it's snowing in the Outer Banks. It's 17 degrees in Dallas. Holy cow. Wow. See, we're lucked out here. We've got some nice, is it nice up in LA, Nick?
Oh yeah. We're privileged. It'll be like 60 degrees. And I'm like, oh my God, this is the coldest day of my life. I couldn't imagine. What did that person say it was? 17 degrees?
17 degrees in Dallas. That's crazy.
Yeah, we lucked out.
I see Annalisa from Sweden. Welcome, Annalisa. Cool. We got our nice international audience tuning in. So that's always fantastic. Now, today, we have 2 topics we're going to be covering on the channel. And of course, it's also interactive and live. The whole point of these live broadcasts is so that producer Nick and I can help you with your journey as an entrepreneur. So if you have questions, you need some help, you want to get some feedback from me about your business or about your niche that you want to pick or things like that, we are going to be taking open questions a bit later. So the way I run the show, if you're new, which by the way, who is new? Are you new to the show? Give me an I'm new in the chat. If you're new to the show, just say I'm new. And we'll give you all a very warm welcome. And of course, we also have subscriber-only chat turned on. Just want to clarify that. So you must be a channel subscriber. It doesn't cost anything. It's totally free. But you can be a channel subscriber that unlocks chat so that you can chat with us over there during the live broadcast. I think when you first subscribe, there's like a couple of minute delay before YouTube will let you chat. But we do have that feature turned on. Got the sneezes going. Apologies for that, but yes. So give me an I'm new if you're new to the broadcast, and we'll see who is new. We got Carl, and we got Blake is not new. He's a fossil. Blake has been around a while. Anybody else who's new to the broadcast? I'd love to hear who's new. And it's good to see when YouTube helps us bring new people into the fold. We're trying to build a little community where we all help each other here through the channel. And just let us know. And I see Tim out there. Tim's also an old timer. But yeah, give me some, Nick, give them a shout out if you see anybody in the chat saying that they are new.
Got it.
And then last little bit of housekeeping I want to tell you about is I pinned it. Right now it's the pinned comment in the chat. It's a little survey. So if you want to pop that open in another tab and answer that survey for us, that'd be awesome. It's a survey on YouTube. It won't take you off YouTube. You don't have to fill in your email address or do anything like that. Just a quick one-click vote to help vote in that survey. And that would be greatly appreciated. And so today's topics that we're going to cover. So we'll do open chat a bit later to help you with anything you need help with. But today we're going to be, we have two segments. The first is a cage match. We're doing the ultimate AI cage match. So you think of like the old 1980s wrestling, right? When they'd have like Hulk Hogan and what was one of the other ones? The Undertaker and all these wrestlers in a cage, right? Just going at each other. Well, we're going to do that with AI today. So we have Grok 3, which was just released. Elon just put Grok 3 into the octagon. And we also have ChatGPT, we have Google Gemini, and then we have DeepSeek, the somewhat recent controversial AI that's new on the scene from China. We're going to pit them all against each other, and we're going to help you determine which one is going to make you more money. So that's segment number one. Segment number two, we're going to be revisiting the concept of using AI podcasts, where you can use some AI tools. And notebooklm has been a very popular tool here on the channel. Well, actually, our biggest video of all time is about how to use notebooklm. But today we're going to be zeroing in on a different tool, and we're going to show you how to use it to generate really cool AI podcasts in a way to get you traffic and to get you sales so you can put some of that money in your pocket, which is what we're all here for, right? So there you go. That's the topic of today. We'll be doing those two segments. We'll be doing Q&A for both segments, and then we'll do an open Ask Me Anything at the end of the broadcast. Nick, anything else that I need to cover?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, I know. One more thing.
Got it.
So I'm going to unpin my comment. Could you share that link out? If you can share it under my name out in the chat, that link for tonight's broadcast. So one thing I do want to let everyone know is I have a special guest that I am going to be doing a private webinar with a bit later today. So that's tonight. I will be live with her. And she is going to be showing off something that is pretty darn cool. And it's a lot different than what you normally hear me talk about. So what she does is she helps entrepreneurs sell, I guess we'll call it the print on demand industry. So it's all about print on demand, but how can anyone without any experience get involved in the print on demand industry, get products that can sell on sites like Etsy, on Amazon, and a bunch of other ones. but it is a deep dive on the print-on-demand industry and how you can break into it as somebody, if you've never done it before, how you can set up your own print-on-demand business and get started in that industry. So that is a special private presentation. You will have to register for that. So did you get that one out there? There you go. So let me pin that one. I'm going to switch out the pinned comment to that one. There we go. So it is now pinned there. So you'll need to go register if you're interested in hearing more about that and you want to attend. Just tap that link and go register over there. That will be in a couple of hours from now, where I'll be live with her. So that'll be pretty interesting, which is not a topic we cover a lot. Don't talk about that a lot, but there's a big interest in it, and it can be pretty darn profitable. Okay, so now I think we're clear to get into the training. Just checking here. Yeah, I don't have anything else on my notes. All right.
All right.
Ready to go, Nick?
Yeah, and then I'll take myself off the stage and just cue me in when you're ready.
Okay. Yeah, we're going to definitely be leaning on you a bit today. So, but for now, I will take over. Okay, cool. So a refresher for anybody here who is new. I'm recording these, so I'm going to power through, get the whole thing done. We're recording it so that we can use it for doing trainings and courses, and we'll edit this up and often release it as additional training and on social media and other places. So we're going to power through. I'm going to get all of the main training recorded, and then we're going to switch over and start taking all of your questions. So if you do have questions as we're going through this training and as I'm about to do the presentation, pop those questions into the chat as you think about them, and then we're going to take them up after I'm finished recording. Okay. So the other warning, you might hear me doing retakes. You might hear me make notes for my editor. Don't worry, I am still here live with you. This isn't some weird fake live thing. I'm here live with you, but after I get through recording, then we will open it up for your chat. Okay. Okay. Awesome. Then I think we're good. I think we're ready to go. Okay, so I'm going to record my hook, which is the important part of the video. It's the first 30 seconds that hooks someone in and gets them to want to watch the training. But let me just get my teleprompter going. And here we are. Okay. Elon Musk just released Grok 3, and it just might be the most powerful AI yet. But there's one question that remains. Can it actually help you make money online? Because many people are claiming it's superior to all the others, ChatGPT, Google Gemini, even the new breakthrough Chinese AI DeepSeek. That's right, DeepSeek. That was already a game-changing AI that just came out and dominated the entire AI space that was just a couple of weeks ago. And it might already be dethroned by the brand new Grok 3. So the AI arms race, it's heating up, and people who move fast are the ones that are going to crush it and cash in big time. And in this video, I'm going to be breaking down exactly what can Grok 3 do for you, what is the insane potential that it has for wealth that it can unlock, and how do you use it to start making money today? Because trust me, in 6 months, you're either going to be ahead of the curve or you're going to be kicking yourself for missing out on this. And when you stick around to the end, I'm going to be pitting it head to head. So we're going to cover Grok 3. We'll talk about how you can use it to make money. But most importantly, you're going to want to see when we pit it against all the other giants, ChatGPT, Gemini's deep research, DeepSeek, and all of the others, you're going to see which of these AIs actually wins when it comes to helping you make money. So are you ready? Then let's dive in. Okay, there's our hook. Does that seem good, Nick?
It seems good to me.
Okay, cool. How does that sound, audience? Does that sound like a compelling hook of a video you'd like to watch? Hopefully it is. And now we're going to do the content. So let's get my screen sharing going. And then let's get the right browser up there. And we'll start out like that. Go there. All right, here we go. Now, like many of my videos, this video has an accompanying slide deck with all of our show notes, information, resources, links, and a special prompt, which you'll hear more about later. And you can download it. It's totally free. All you need to do is be an Ingeniosity subscriber. It's a free newsletter we send out every Friday. So I'll drop a link to that down in the comments or in the description below so that you can go sign up for Ingeniosity and you'll be able to download this slide deck and keep it for your own. So you'll have all the prompts, all the training, everything you need. It'll be downloadable, totally free. So check that out. Link in the description or in the comments below. And of course, this video is all about pitting the giants against each other. So we're going to have the ultimate AI cage match, and we're going to show you which of these giants can help you make the most profits. So let's start out with Grok 3 and what makes it so special. So I don't know if you've heard the news. Elon spent a fortune. He has an insane number of AI chips that he has purchased. He set up a supercomputer and built this new AI to beat all of the others. And one of the other things that makes Grok really interesting is Elon doesn't want to censor it like many of the other platforms do. So when it comes to censorship, you might find that the Google Gemini will not talk about certain things, or it won't use certain strategies while you're trying to work with it. The same with OpenAI. And then, of course, DeepSeek over in China has its own issues with censorship. So with Grok, that means it is uncensored, and you can do a lot more with it that other models won't let you do. In fact, I have had some of the other models refuse to write sales letters for me and other things that I needed them to do because of their censorship rules, okay? So this means that you can make more money with Grok because it's going to have a better time understanding what you're trying to do and, more importantly, complying with the requests that you make of these AI. So the other thing is, this is also built into X, so, formerly Twitter. So it has the constant stream of tweets is in its memory. So it has recent information. It's continuously being updated with the cutting edge information about the news that people are talking about, trends, changes in culture, changes in just about anything. It's almost in real time with the changes going on in the world. So that's another one with this enormous library of data that it is consuming through the X platform and all the tweets that everyone is sending, okay? So, by the way, you're going to want to stick around. I'm going to show you the differences so you'll see for yourself what these differences are between these tools and why Grok just might be the one you should be using, okay? Because Grok 3 is the smartest AI. So there is this benchmark that there's these benchmarks that they do to measure the AI performance and to see which one is better than each other for all kinds of different tasks. They'll test it on coding, they'll test it on math, logic and reasoning. They'll test it on how well it writes and does creative writing, and they'll put it all head to head. And here's an example, as you can see up there. We have first the reasoning testing, and you can see Grok 3, which was the blue one, okay? Grok 3 are the blue graphs, is completely beating all of the others. So you can see we have DeepSeek, we have Gemini, and we have ChatGPT, both ChatGPT 01 and what's called 03 mini. And head-to-head against all of them, Grok is currently blowing them all out of the water. But a more important one that's kind of interesting is what's called Chatbot Arena. So with this graph here, you can see each one of these represents a different model. And you can see on the bottom axis here, the one on the left, this one up here, this sort of teal bluish color. I'm colorblind, so hopefully that's the right color. But this one at the top, that is Grok 3. And you'll notice all of these others here. So we have from here, we have Gemini 02 Flash, ChatGPT 4.0, that's the latest 4.0. DeepSeek R1, that's the one everyone was all hyped up about just a week ago. And then we have different versions of Gemini, different versions of ChatGPT. Here's another model that's been very popular called Qwen. It's another Chinese model. And as you can see, it is blowing them all out of the water. But what's important here I want to talk about is that this chatbot arena, this is based on real human ratings. So what they do is they'll put real humans and they'll have them chat with all of these different models. And they don't tell the humans which models they're chatting with. And then they put them through a series of tests. And they test them out doing all kinds of different stuff with the model. And the humans, it's like a blind test, will rate the quality of the output coming out of the AI. So this is not like some of the other tests, they're a bit, theoretical. This one is real world testing from real humans rating the different AIs. And Grok really blows them all out of the water. Which, by the way, I want to know right now, as of this moment, what is your favorite AI to use? So, you're going to watch this. You're probably going to go start trying out Grok 3 a little bit after you watch this video. But what are you using right now? What's your favorite AI to use? Drop that in the comments down below. Do me a favor and just let me know if you've been using AI for anything at all. Which one do you like? And there's a lot of choices from ChatGPT. We haven't talked about it much today, but Anthropic has one called Claude. Google Gemini, you got DeepSeek, you have Qwen, which is the other Chinese model. There's a lot to choose from. Then you got Perplexity is another one that a lot of people like. What is your favorite AI right now? And if you're not using one, I'd love to hear that too. You could just let me know in the comments below. Even if you're not using an AI, let me know which one you're using or if you're not using one at all. And we'll get back to the presentation here. Okay, so Grok 3 has a built-in agent. So if you've not heard about AI agents, they're essentially like little assistants that can do stuff for you. They're AI assistants that do stuff for you. That's the simple definition of it. And Grok has one called Deep Search, okay? It's kind of like OpenAI. OpenAI has a very expensive thing that is called Deep Research. I think it's $200 a month, at least at the time of recording this. But Grok has it baked right in. So you can see there in the screenshot over there where you can turn it on there where it says Deep Search. So that's another great benefit of Grok. Okay. So we're going to be testing Deep Search out in just a few minutes, by the way. So stick around. You can see how that works. So how do you get Grok 3 and how do you use it? So Grok 3 right now is available for all X premium users. So like for me, I pay $16 or $18 a month, whatever it is, to have my little blue check mark and access to the premium features on X. I pay for that. So I get Grok. It's just an extra free bonus. So it's a real good excuse to go sign up to Elon's premium service and put up again, I think it's $16 at the time of this video. I don't remember, but it's cheap. So that will unlock it for you. And it actually is built into X once you have unlocked premium. But also, the other thing is Grok has its own new user interface. So much like ChatGPT, they have an interface that we'll show you in just a minute where you can also use Grok outside of Twitter or X. Okay. So quick little roundup. So there's a lot of buzz going on. So there are people just absolutely freaking out about Grok's ability to write code, to do logic, to do research, to do creative writing. And you can see here, here's an influencer in the AI world. Grok 3 might be the best LLM for real world physics, where it can actually write code that simulates a bouncing ball. That's their little thing here. Lex Friedman said, my mind is blown. Very impressive model. Congrats to Elon. So got thumbs up from Lex Friedman. And so what we're going to do is a test. So let's do this. I'm going to bring producer Nick, our channel's very own producer Nick. Let's see if we can bring him on. We'll switch up our layout here. We'll go there. Hey. And so I want to bring you in for this because you were involved with this testing of hitting Grok 3 head-to-head against these other models. So let's talk about that.
Yeah, so I came up with this It's a monster prompt. If you want to scroll down and show the prompt real quick, I gave the exact same prompt to ChatGPT 4.0, Gemini, DeepSeek, and Grok. And what it's doing two things. The first thing is it's looking at a specific market. I chose the weight loss market, but it's looking at a market, and I asked it to find 100 pain points, desires, goals, and fears that market might have. The second stage is I'm asking it to come up with 20 digital product ideas based on those, those goals, fears, and pain points. And I got different results for each one. It's pretty interesting. For Gemini, ChatGPT, and Grok, I turned on all their deep research tools. So Gemini has their deep research, ChatGPT has their deep research, and then in Grok, it's just called deep search. So that was enabled for all of them. And it was pretty interesting to see what they came up with.
Cool. So then what we're going to do is we're going to show the results of doing this, because this is a great example of a money-making prompt. So anyone who wants to start a brand new business, you need to do research to help you zero in and pick your niche market and figure out what you can sell. So that's like one of the very first things you need to do in order to launch an online business. And so that's what this prompt does. It helps you do that research. And again, I want to remind everyone that this is free. You can get this deck and download the prompt. So it's a very long prompt. So don't try to pause the video and try to figure out how to copy it down. It's free. You just got to pop in your email and become part of our Ingeniosity newsletter, and we'll email you a link to our library of decks like this. We have a whole bunch of them, and this one will be in there. So it's free. Again, link to that is in the description and in the comments below. But so at this point, should we share your screen and pull up some of the results of using this prompt?
Yeah. Do you want to start with ChatGPT and then we'll do Grok as the final one?
Yeah, let's do that. We'll count it down from ChatGPT and yeah, I love that. Let's do that.
Okay. All right. Okay, so we'll start off with ChatGPT. Here's the big monster prompt. It likes to ask questions to do a better job. I was lazy, so I just said refer to the original prompt and just start. So it went and did a deep research session, taking 8 minutes, looked at 18 different sources. You can see what it did here. And here's what it came up with.
It's pretty impressive all in of itself. So again, this is deep research. So this is the one that's available on their pro plan, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so 8 minutes. How many sources?
It was 18 sources.
18 sources in 8 minutes. Okay, great. Let's take a look.
Yeah, so here it's starting off with the pain points and the challenges they have. So I don't know if you want to skim and take a look at these.
Okay.
By the way, this is associated with the weight loss market as a reminder.
Okay,
That's
so weight loss for busy professionals, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. These look good.
Yeah. I asked it to give me 100, so it's kind of a behemoth of a response. So
yeah, that's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. So these are the pain points. Let's scroll down. If do you want to look at
let's go up to
ideas?
some of the pain points. Let's go up to the pain points. Let me just look at one or two of those.
Sure.
Okay. Okay. And peer pressure. So that's a very real thing. Like peer pressure to go out to lunch or go get coffee and sugary drinks. That's a very real thing. Lack of a support system, professional image. Okay. That's actually okay. These are good. Networking conflicts, loneliness. Yeah. Okay. These are pretty good. Go ahead. Let's keep rolling through.
Okay.
Emotional and psychological struggles. I like those. Hey, let's pause for a moment. Guilt and shame, fear of failure, overwhelm, and one more thing. See, this is all really great information. If I were wanting to start a brand new product, whether I was trying to have a supplement or a physical product or write a book or create a course or whatever or maybe I wanted to be an influencer in the market, all of this information is fantastic for helping start a business. But this is ChatGPT. So now I kind of have an idea for what its output. Let's keep going, and then we'll move on to the next. So then we got our digital product ideas for this niche market. So a mobile app, an online course, 4-hour fit week. I like that.
4-hour fit week. That's creative.
Desk job diet decoder for an ebook. Okay. Meal prep in a pinch. That's cool. Accountability accelerator. I like the sound of that, actually. These are pretty good.
Yeah.
What do you think? How is ChatGPT rating up so far with deep research? Out there
if you guys
in the
want,
comments, I would love to hear that. Yeah.
1 second. My headphones did the thing where it got knocked off Bluetooth, even though the battery's full.
Yeah, I don't know. Time for some new headsets.
Yeah, I know. Can you hear me though?
Yes.
Okay, I can hear you again. Sorry about that.
All right. Well, so note to editor, you can clean that up, and we'll go. Well, let's keep going from here.
Cool.
Yeah, it all looks good. So now let's keep scrolling through. We have a lot to cover. So let's scroll
head
on
over
through.
to Gemini.
Yeah, let's do this prompt and move on to Gemini.
Okay.
And reminder, we're going to be covering, we just did ChatGPT, so we're going to go to Google Gemini, we'll do DeepSeek, and then we're going to come back to Grok at the end, and we're going to show which one is the best for coming up with money-making ideas and content like this. Okay, so here's Gemini.
Yeah, this is using Gemini's deep research. So it went and searched the web to do this, and this is what it came up with.
Okay. This one seems a little bit easier to kind of digest what it came back with. I do notice that compared to ChatGPT. It's a little more condensed, a little easier to understand and digest. Accountability Accelerator. It came up with the same name.
That's interesting. That makes me think maybe there's a real product called the Accountability Accelerator, and they're both using that as a source.
Okay, these are all pretty good all pretty good. I do notice it's much more concise in its output. Definitely didn't come back with as much data. Wow, 110 websites. Is that for that one?
Yeah, as opposed to if we go back to this one, ChatGPT says it looked at how many sources? It says it looked at 18.
And Google looked at 110. Wow.
10.
Okay, so there's a couple of differences we're already seeing between ChatGPT and Google Gemini. So Gemini seems to do a lot more research and kind of boil things down to a more concise format, whereas ChatGPT says a lot more, and it's a little bit harder to digest. There's a lot more choices and information, but okay, cool. Well, let's keep on looking at Gemini. I think that was at the end of the Gemini output.
That was, yes.
Okay, good. Okay, so definitely not as in-depth, a bit easier to digest, a lot more research. So let's move on. Let's try DeepSeek now. Okay, so does it indicate how many research sources it used?
No, it actually doesn't.
Okay, cool. Well, then let's just take a look here. This one also is very concise. It's not like super lengthy like ChatGPT was. Okay, it's summarized them into kind of groups. That's a little different than the other ones did, of similar psychology and pain points and problems. Here are the product ideas. Okay. I like the idea of power lunch nutrition. That's kind of interesting. Boardroom Body Reboot. That's one of my brands. Body Reboot is the. Okay. Get a good sense of that. And what do we got here? Down. Keep on going. some strategic notes. So what is your main takeaway from this one, Nick? What do you notice in DeepSeek compared to the others?
I think so far it does the best job at finding the problems, fears, goals, and pain points.
Mm-hmm.
But in my opinion, ChatGPT did the best job at coming up with the product ideas.
Okay.
And I'm actually not that impressed with Gemini compared to these two, but that's just my personal opinion.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, then now we're coming down to the finale. Let's take a look at Grok and let's see what it did.
All right. So here's what it looks like when you enable deep search down here. So I went and did a deep search session. And here's where it
Does
starts.
Does it indicate how many sources it used in its research?
Does it? Yes, it's 10 web pages.
10 web pages. Okay, so not as much research. So yeah. Kind of similar to OpenAI or to ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it looked at 10 web pages, and it does a little preface. It kind of prefaces what it did before it gets to what we're looking for. But here's what we're looking for. Part 1, all of the pain points. So and it grouped them into like 4, 5. It grouped them into like 6 or 7 different buckets of like clusters.
Okay. So let's I kind of like some of the ones I'm seeing here.
Which ones?
Well, almost all of these. Difficulty scheduling regular exercise sessions, no time or to read and research about what to eat healthy, always eating out, no control over portion size and ingredients, time spent on social media or TV instead of exercise. All of these are really good. Like I saw a couple in the other ones where I'm like, yeah, they had good ones, but they also had ones that I wouldn't never use. But Grok, almost all of them look usable to me.
I also think this came up with the most ideas. So in the prompt, I asked them to come up with 100 pain points.
Mm-hmm.
DeepSeek gave me like 40. Gemini didn't listen. It gave me like 10. ChatGPT, I think it did 100, and then this one did more than 100.
Okay.
But yeah, pretty comprehensive.
Okay, cool. I really like that. I like that because this is probably the most important part of this exercise is really getting those pain points right. And when you can communicate the pain points in a way that resonates with your prospects, so whether that's you weave them through your emails, through your sales copy, through your social media presence, but if you can weave communication to your potential, your web visitors, on social media and your articles everywhere, the more you can use that language that they identify with these pain points and problems, the better you're going to do at sales. The easier it's going to be to attract people to your website, the easier it's going to be to get them to give you money or buy the products you recommend. So I'm a fan of Grok for this part.
Yeah, Grok says it came up with 130 total points. So that's
wow.
That's the highest amount that it came. That out of all the different models, this is the most points.
Oh, it gives you some analysis here, there as well. I like that. Okay, cool. Let's take a look at the digital product ideas. Okay. Weight loss warriors. Desker size. Is that a thing? I wonder if there's already a brand called Desker size. That's I like that. Okay, product ideas are okay. There's a couple that stand out to me, but I feel like Gemini might have done a better job at product ideas. What do you think?
Oh, interesting. You think Gemini did a better idea?
Yeah, go back to the product ideas of Gemini.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, personally, it's close, but I kind of like Gemini for product ideas. And then let's go back to Grok. Let's take a look back at Grok. Yeah, there's some good ones here too, though. So, all right, well, let's finish down to the bottom, and then we're going to summarize all of this. And oh, interesting. So there's a list of the resources it used. Gives you some monetization potential. So here's my 2 cents. So I think a little bit of this has to do with the person's preferences. If you're someone who likes to have a lot of information to analyze, then I think ChatGPT's deep research will win there, right? If you're someone who wants a more concise, kind of boiled down approach, then I like Grok for a couple of reasons. One, it's just simpler, but overall, I like Grok because of what it came up with the pain points, the problems, the pain points, and the psychology analysis that it did. I vote for Grok. I think Grok overall is the winner because of that, because that's the most important part of this exercise. And when it comes to money making, that's the most important part of anything with your marketing and your sales messaging, is that you must clearly convey to your prospects of what problems you're going to help them solve. You really need to help, you communicate it in a way that helps remind them of the inner turmoil, the pain that they're experiencing and wanting to solve them. And I think Grok beats all the others on this point. What do you think, Nick?
My personal thoughts, because there's 2 parts to it. On the pain points, uncovering like the psychology behind the market, I think Grok wins hands down. And DeepSeek's kind of a close second place for that.
Okay.
But I honestly wasn't that impressed with the product ideas. I thought some of them were some were good, but most of them are pretty generic, in my opinion. I thought ChatGPT did like knocked it out of the park with the product ideas in comparison.
Okay.
But with the pain points, I didn't think it did as good as a job as Grok, in my opinion. Maybe that's because Grok is hooked up to Twitter and it has access to real people on Twitter talking about this kind of thing.
Yeah, I think that could be it. But it's really clear to me. And I think that seeing that how it's responding back with these emotional pain points leads me to believe that when it comes to writing copy or writing content, it's going to do a better job of using this information in the materials that you create with it. So I think overall Grok is the winner.
Cool.
So well done, Elon. How many billions I forget how many billions he invested in the data center they built. It was a lot.
I actually don't know. Did you watch the demo, like the big hour-long demo they did?
I watched part of it. It was a long demo, so I didn't watch the whole thing.
Yeah, I watched parts of it too.
Okay. But yeah, it's crazy. So his investment seems to be paying off. So Grok is claimed to be the new leader of all the AIs, and it looks like I agree. So I'm in sync with the popular opinion is that Grok is the leader. So if you are doing research, you're writing copy or doing things where you're trying to persuade your audience or create content for your audience, it looks like Grok is the current leader for that. So I do recommend that if you haven't yet, you should grab that X Premium subscription. It is so inexpensive. It's worth going and at least trying it out and seeing what you think of Grok. So, and by the way, I want to know in the chat, in the comments below this video, who won? So I can go with remember the old epic rap battles of history? Makes me want to do that. Who won? Who's next? So yeah, but tell us in the comments what you think based on this output. Who wins the battle? You want us to do any other AIs? We'll do another AI cage match of a different set of tools. If you want to vote for, is that will start becoming the epic rap battles of AI. Yeah. Anyway, for those of you who have no idea what that reference is, you can go look it up. You can look it up on YouTube, Epic Rap Battles of History. So, and on that very important note, I think we're going to wrap things up. So I'm going to take over the screen unless, Nick, anything else we need to add about the analysis?
No, I think we're good to go.
Okay, cool. And I'm going to hijack the screen and we'll wrap up the recording. So if you got value from this video, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button. The likes really do help feed the YouTube algorithm, or wherever you're seeing this video at. Likes help feed the algorithm so that other people will learn about this content and hopefully be introduced to our channel. And I'd be eternally grateful. Also, by the way, make sure you follow me. I'm on social media everywhere. So whether it's over on Twitter, over on Facebook, Instagram, or on YouTube, give us a follow, a subscription, all that stuff. But more importantly, let me know, did you have an old favorite AI tool, and who is your new favorite? Drop those into the comments down below. Really want to hear what your thoughts are. And again, if you have something else you want us to cover where we'll buy the subscriptions to the different tools and we'll do another AI cage match if you vote for it. So let us know in the comments what you'd like us to do a review, and we'll do another AI cage match based on your requests. And with that, we're signing off. I'll see you next time. Bye for now. All right, audience. I'm not going anywhere.
I want to share something real quick. Quick hack.
Yeah.
I didn't include it in the segment because I wanted to make it go faster. We have a bad habit of making them go like 45 minutes when they should be like 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the things I did in the prompt, I gave it like, remember in grade school, you get like for a project, your teacher would give you a rubric.
Okay.
Like,
yeah.
I would give it a rubric and I'd say, I'm grading you. I want you to follow the rubric as best as you can. And tell me, just follow my instructions. And when I do that, they perform a lot better. If you get the deck, you'll see in the prompt, the rubric I included. So quick AI hack for anyone who wants to be better at AI. Give it a rubric in the prompt.
That's interesting. So do you have an example of that you could show?
I could screen share the prompt I used.
Okay.
I forgot. I saw there was a guy on Twitter who gave the idea, and I'm like, oh, that's such a great idea. So I started working it into my prompts, and personal opinion, I think they're a lot better. So let me share my screen again. I'll show it real quick. And for everyone watching, the deck isn't in ClickUp yet, but I'll add it after we're done. So here it's a giant prompt. And at the end, here's what I say. Your report will be assessed on a 1 to 10 scale across these 5 equally weighted criteria. And then here are the criteria I gave it.
Okay, so you're essentially telling it how you're going to score it based on score its work.
Yeah,
what things to emphasize. Yeah. Okay. Like it's kind of like helping it understand what things to emphasize when it's doing its research and its output. I like that. Okay, now I understand. I wasn't quite following you.
Whoops. I thought I didn't want to extend the length of that segment for when it goes to YouTube. I didn't want to make it longer than it had to be. So, but I really want to talk about it. I thought it was cool.
Awesome. Well, then I want to let the audience know that we're going into open questions, but we have another segment coming up. So this is going to be a brand new AI tool that's better than notebooklm that you can use to make AI podcasts in any voice you want and use them to get traffic. So we're going to do a how-to of how do you use this new AI tool and use it to get traffic and sales to your website. So that'll be the next segment we're about to do. So don't go anywhere. We're going to be covering that in just a couple of minutes. And we're going to be answering all of your questions. So if you have any questions at all about this AI, like pointing over here, it's not there anymore, but about the AI cage match that we just did, you want to ask myself or Nick any questions, pop those in now. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take a very quick commercial break, but we'll be right back after this quick commercial. See you in just a minute.
The presidents, celebrities, or characters in this video are all fake and generated by artificial intelligence.
You know, the other day while I was resting my eyes, I woke up to find that I'd built an entire online business.
Really, Joe? How'd you manage to do that?
Well, you see,
Wait a minute, Sleepy Joe. Let me guess. You had PushButton AI do all the work, didn't you?
that's right, Donald. It found me a fantastic domain name, built out a complete site, set up my shopping cart so I can get paid, and even wrote an entire email sales campaign for me, all while I was napping.
Well, I've been using PushButton AI too. And believe me, my new business, it's huge. The best. So much winning. You wouldn't believe.
This push-button AI sounds phenomenal.
Oh, it is. It's almost as genius as I am.
But with better hair, no doubt.
Guys, all this talk is boring to me. What everyone needs to do is click the link of this video and go to the masterclass to see how to use this powerful technology to build their own profitable online business.
Well, if Elon says it, it must be worth a shot.
You're right, Barry. Everyone should click the link right now.
I can't believe I'm going to agree with Joe, but this masterclass sounds like it's going to be huge. Absolutely terrific. The best masterclass ever given, probably.
Okay, guys, how about we hit that link? Time is money.
And we are back, or maybe we're back. So YouTube is doing its ad break. And then we pop the link to go get more information about PushButton AI. So if you're interested in our tool that actually builds an entire business by answering 2 questions and pushing a button, and you heard AI Elon says it's awesome, so you're gonna want to check that out. We pop the link to that down into the chat. So head on over there. You can book your demo. So what you'll do is it'll ask you for your name and email, put that in. You'll see a quick little video presentation, and then you can book in our calendar to schedule a demo with our team. And you'll be able to learn all about how to use PushButton AI to build your next business. And with that, we are coming into Q&A. And Producer Nick, I want to bring you back in. So we're going to go through the Q&A, but before we start, I have an important question for you.
Okay, let's hear it.
Why was Cinderella thrown off the basketball team?
Why?
Because she ran away from the ball.
Another good one. Not as strong. The first one was great. So let's say, here's what we'll say. We'll say 7.8.
7.8. Wow, I'm on a roll. 2 good ones in a row. Audience, chat, what do you say on the dad joke scale? 0 is awful to 10 being best. What do you rate that one? All right, cool. We'll wait till they give us a rating there. But Nick, did you see any? I didn't see any comments. I wasn't really paying attention on what they were voting for, on what their favorite was, and then what won our challenge. Did you notice any feedback or any trends in there?
It's pretty mixed. I think looking at the chat, just skimming it real quick, I think Grok is the winner.
Okay, so Grok is the winner. And then before we did our presentation earlier on, did you notice any favorites about which tools they preferred?
It seems like most people just stuck with ChatGPT.
That's what I do, and I do it out of laziness, right? I'm familiar with it. It gets the job done. So I use ChatGPT, even though I have a premium subscription for every tool there is. But just because of familiarity and laziness, I use ChatGPT. Although I'm going to switch now to Grok. But yeah. So, all right. Well, with that, let's go to the audience's questions. So if you have any questions at all about anything we just covered, or comments, feedback, whatever you want to pop in there, and we'll take that up before we move on to the next segment. It's going to be all about the new AI podcast king on the block, and we'll cover that in the next segment. So, Nick, what are the questions?
Yes. Okay. First one's from My Ducky. This is when you mentioned censorship in some of the other models, and he says,
yes,
what kind of censorship rules have you encountered?
So for me, it's a really odd one, and I'm not the only one who's run into this. So I had a workflow. I actually stopped using it because it kept being a problem. I have a workflow where I talk about sales psychology, and I define for the AI, like, here are 10 different psychological sales triggers or sales techniques to get someone to buy something. And then I'll say, use these 10 strategies to sell this product, right? And then I have the AI arguing with me, and it would say, it literally told me that it's almost like in the old, I'm sorry, Dave, I cannot do that. But it said it refused to use psychology to make people buy something from an ethical standpoint. It said that it was not going to help me manipulate someone to buy a product using psychology or subconscious methods, and it refused to write my sales copy.
Claude is a special. I like Claude, but Claude's like a really bad offender when it comes to doing that compared to the other ones.
Actually, in this case, that was Claude, and I'm not the only one who's run into it. So, I will find sometimes too. So ChatGPT will do that as well. ChatGPT gets really weird about some topics. So if you start talking about topics that are weight loss, making money, or other things, it can get weird and also have a similar reaction where it will accuse you of doing bad things, even though you're not trying to.
Yeah, I wonder what you have to do to push Grok's limits. Like what's the boundary for what it won't talk about?
Yeah. Well, I mean, and I have mixed opinions too, because I understand, like, let's say health, right? You're talking about supplements and health or other things. Obviously, you don't want to put out misinformation and false stuff that might get someone sick, right? You don't want to try to be like diagnosing people or putting out fake cures where you're going to tell someone you're going to cure their cancer with something that doesn't work. Like, I think that's important, but boy, they've overdone it. Like, they've just way overdone it. Health is another one of those topics that can get difficult. Yeah. What else we have?
A few people looking for the Grok demo that came out Monday. And you just look it up.
Elon did a live stream on X. So if you look up Elon's account, he did a epic, live stream with the Grok release last night.
Yeah. I thought it was Monday. It was last night.
Was it Monday? Maybe it was. All the days run together for me. So whenever it was recent. Yeah.
Usually it takes like a week or two because I give these videos to my editor to work on, but I want to get it out either tomorrow or Friday. So I'm going to try editing it myself for speed.
All right, cool. What other questions do we have?
Someone wants to know how Grok integrates with PushButton.
It doesn't currently. Yeah. It's just a separate tool. Separate tool you can use if you want to make additional content outside of what PushButton does for you. You can use Grok to write articles, do research, write sales materials, emails, whatever. That's if you want to, just kind of make something extra on your own. Yeah. And then I noticed something, Nick, I do want to take up that we'll chat about just real quick. And I know people have been talking about the slide decks and the challenges we faced of making all the decks available to everyone. So I just want to remind everyone on that. I know Nick is in the middle of a project. We're having issues with the tools we use. So we use a combination of ClickUp to hold the library, and then we use Gamma to make these tools. And it's unfortunately an issue with those tools that have been giving Nick a bunch of problems. So I know for the last few weeks, we've been having a lot of issues with trying to get everybody their links. And did you get a chance to finish that project of fixing all the Gamma links, Nick?
Not yet, no.
Not yet. Okay. So I know he's working on it. And what we'll be doing is once all of the links are fixed, then we're going to email everyone on the Ingeniosity mailing list and give you a new fresh link to the library where you can go look at the whole library of all the slide decks and be able to download them. So if for any reason you're running into issues finding or downloading those, just know we will be emailing you, and we should be done with that soon. So I just want to apologize. Sorry for that. unfortunately, it was a little bit out of our hands. It was these other tools giving us issues, but Nick will get it out to you ASAP. And then we'll go to the next question.
Yeah, well, this is what you brought up. I like the idea of just doing a continuous series, the AI cage match series, where we take all the different models and we have them brawl each other to see who comes out on top. And this is when we were talking about that. Tim says, please review the technology you use in your office.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. In fact, I want to do a video about what is probably the most used AI tool outside of my own system. So we, outside of PushButton AI and the tools that we have created, there's a couple of tools that are used extensively throughout my company. And one of them just had a brand new release that I think is a good excuse for us to cover. I emailed it to you, Nick. I don't know if you know which tool I'm talking about, but.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. So that'd be cool. But I would like to know if you guys have any others. Are there a particular type of tool? Maybe you want us to do a head-to-head on different article writers, or you want us to do a head-to-head on different video editing tools, or we could do these cage matches. If you have any tools like that, different voice generation tools. Whatever there's so many tools. There are thousands upon thousands of these AI startups out there who have built tools of different kinds. So if you'd like us to do a review of one or do a cage match of different tools against each other, we'd be happy to do that. Just let us know which ones you want to do. We should put a poll up on YouTube about that.
Sure.
I guess it's not really a poll, just to have to vote in the comments, but yeah. So, all right, next question.
Yes, this is from Adam. Adam says, so you just say there is a great tool to use, but don't tell us the tool?
That's called an open loop. Yeah, because it makes you want to be here when we cover it next time. So I will tell you this. It's a tool people use both for audio and video editing, but it has a lot of different purposes, of a lot of different uses. And they just released something really cool that will help you make videos and audios. So there's your clue.
All right. Angela wants to know if you have an alternative to SoundCloud.
Yes, you can use depending on your WordPress hosting. If you're running on a WordPress site, you can actually upload audio directly to your WordPress installation. And then use an audio player. So as an example, the WordPress installs that we provide for all of our customers. So I think you're pretty sure you have a site on our platform. You can upload the audio through your media library, and then there's in our drag and drop page builder, there's an audio player that you can use to embed that. In fact, maybe I'll try to show it a bit later in our next segment. That might be a chance for me to show you how to do that. All right, what else we got?
Yeah, Tim wants to know, he wants a comparison between Office 365 and Google Workplace. Okay,
yeah. I don't know if we'll do that one, but I'm looking mostly for like AI tools. Do they have, maybe there's AI tools in there I haven't been paying attention to.
Maybe.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, do you want us to review like the AI tools of those different platforms? Yeah, I have paid zero attention to it. Maybe that's something we should be looking at that we aren't currently.
Yeah.
What's next?
Yeah, Davey wants to know, because I mailed the Beehive list. I said there's a podcast tool that's better than notebooklm, and we're going to talk about it. And he wants to know if we're going to talk about that podcast tool that I mentioned in the email.
We are. That's the next segment, the next training we're about to do. We're going to cover just that.
Yeah. All right. I mean, Blake mentioned that Copilot's a part of Microsoft 365.
Oh, yeah.
Have you used it? I have not.
No, I haven't actually. I've been. Maybe we should.
I saw. I think it was the affiliate marketing MC. He does a lot of AI content. I think he was talking about that. All right. I think we're good to go.
Okay, cool. So then I think that clears us up for this segment. We're ready to move on.
Yep.
Okay,
and then,
cool.
I'm going to take myself off the stage. Just cue me in when you want me to help.
But before you go, I got to ask you an important question.
Okay, let's hear it.
Why did the chicken join the band?
Why?
Because he had the drumsticks.
No, I didn't like that one.
I broke my winning streak.
I know. That's like a 4. I didn't like that.
A 4. Oh, I'm wounded. Okay. Audience, What do you say? Is that on the dad joke scale of 0 to 10? How does that rate? All right, cool. Well, then we're going to be moving on. On that note, let me know in the chat how I scored on that one. And with that, we'll move on to the next segment. So I'll take over here. All right, so what we're going to be covering next is all about our AI podcast generation workflow. So we're going to talk about a new, better, and different tool. Like we've talked a lot about notebooklm. So we're going to be talking about a different tool that is better in many different ways. And I'm going to show you how you can use it, specifically how to use this tool to get traffic to your website and to get money coming in the door for sales. So we're going to be covering that. I am going to take, excuse me, my voice, going to give my voice a very quick rest. So I'm going to take a short commercial break and we'll be right back. Let's see, I got to pick a commercial. Which one should I pick? We'll go for this one. So after this quick commercial break, we'll be right back with our AI podcast training. I'll see you in just a minute. You over 20 different playbooks, downloadable reports, presentations, and more free, all designed to help you start, build, and profit as an online entrepreneur. And they are all based on my $100 million in results across all of my online businesses. Because over the last 25 years, I have figured out what works, what didn't. But it took a lot of trial and error, a lot of painful lessons along the way. And I would like it so that you don't have to fumble around like I did over the years. Instead, I want to give it to you straight, the exact patterns, the exact steps that you need to follow to launch and explode your online empire this year and beyond. So whether you're just starting out or already have a business you want to grow, there is something for you, and it's totally free. So these playbooks, we release them each week, and a couple examples of them are already waiting for you in the vaults right now. These examples would be how I'm using Mr. Beast's leaked manual to blow up my own YouTube channel and make 6 figures from YouTube alone. Also, the next playbook is a simple content hack that made one guy over $1 million his first year. Also, another playbook is how one woman, she made $200,000 by borrowing traffic from other websites. Also, you'll see how to use an AI tool called Runway ML to generate AI ads that are 300% more profitable than traditional ads are. You'll also learn how to use notebooklm, which is a different AI tool that Google puts out, and you'll see how to make tons of website traffic show up on your doorstep and explode your business. And then another example is our 5 profitable newsletter business ideas. So if you ever wanted to start an online newsletter or an email newsletter, you can start one in a single afternoon with this playbook. Those are just a few examples. There's tons of playbooks and other stuff, and we release more every single Friday. You will get another playbook that will cut right through the noise, will bring you a cutting edge, new marketing or business building strategy that will help you either get more traffic, get more money, or make your business bigger. And these are filled with growth hacks, the workflows, the ideas, the strategies and tactics that will help take you from a concept in your mind to cash flow coming into your pocket, and it'll do it fast. Now, over my $100 million that I've made across all of my different businesses, I know what works. And some of them were very painful and frustrating lessons to learn. And now, through Ingeniosity, it's totally free, and I want to share my knowledge with you so that you do not have to go through that. And I look forward to seeing you inside the Ingeniosity members area. Remember, it's free, and each resource is carefully researched, carefully curated, and we check it against all of my hard-won $100 million worth of experience and make sure it's something that is working now, today. By the way, all of it's indexed, cataloged, and roadmapped. You can log in and find these. You'll never be left in the dust again. Some of the other things that you'll get as an Ingeniosity free subscriber is you actually get to learn behind the scenes of what's going on in my own businesses, so you can see what's working in them right now. So these are not just theories, things that I am doing in my businesses. You'll see real life business experiments and case studies that we're releasing. You'll get the practical blueprints, the growth hacks, everything you can deploy. It's like plug and play. You just take the training, implement it, and you can get results. So as a free Ingeniosity subscriber, you'll get all the practical cutting edge AI tactics that you can use right now in your business so you can participate in this AI revolution. It's all free. It's all right now waiting for you. Go to pushbutton.ai/subscribe. So you go to that link that you see on the screen or down below in the comments, click it, and it's totally free. I'll see you over there. Okay, we should be back. Am I coming through, Nick?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Then we are moving on to the next segment. Of course, this is an ad break, so I think some people are still seeing YouTube ads, but we're going to give them a moment to get tuned back in, and then we're going to kick things off with the next segment. And that's all about creating a profitable AI-generated podcast using a tool that in many ways is better than notebooklm. We're going to cover that in just a moment. Okay, so I'm going to hijack the screen, and then I think I need to come back to you for this one too, right, Nick? A bit later?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, cool. I'm all set there. Got my teleprompter. Make sure I have the right slide deck. And so the first thing I'm going to do is record our hook. Okay, I just noticed I was off center there. Okay, so now here we go. Here is the hook for this training. And a reminder to everybody, I'm going to power through recording all of this. We're going to come back to your questions at the end. So if you have any questions about how to use this, anything that's confusing about it, whatever, pop them into the chat as you have the questions, and then we'll take them up at the end of the training segment. Here we go. An AI-generated podcast is a fantastic way to drive traffic to your website and increase your online profits. And with the AI tool that I am about to show you, it is super easy to do. And now in previous training here on my channel, I've taught how to use a tool called notebooklm. It's put out by Google. It's been a great tool to make AI podcasts. And I taught how to do this on the channel. But there is a brand new AI podcast generator that in many ways is 10 times better than notebooklm. But just like notebooklm, you can easily give the AI different sources like links, videos, articles, pages, whatever it might be, and it will use those sources to research and become the basis of your podcast using this exceptional tool. Now, with this tool, you can also change the voices, which was not possible with notebooklm. So you can do an AI podcast in many different voices. You can do a podcast with one person, two people, even I think 3 people can do a podcast together for you, all with AI, and you can make them be any voices that you want. And on top of that, you control the script in a way that you couldn't do before with notebooklm. And there's a bunch more features that I won't get into at the moment. I'll show you that in a minute. But the tool that I am talking about is called Jellypod. And in today's video, I'm going to show you how to get this tool to send you a flood of visitors to your website so that you can be one of the people who profit from this AI revolution that we are going through right now. Now, this is all thanks to a special hack. So it's going to be using the tool in a way that it's going to be a little unexpected, not quite what the tool was built for. I'll show you how to like tweak it and do this little hack. And then that's going to be how we're going to drive a ton of traffic to your website. So I'll be showing you that in just a little bit. And we're going to turn Jellypod on its head in this special way that gets you traffic and sales directed to your website. So the process is super simple. It only takes just 5 steps. And when you watch through to the end, by the way, I have extra special bonus resources that's going to make this process 10 times more powerful. So I'll share that with you at the end when you stick around all the way through. So the question is, are you ready? Let's dive in. There is the hook. That come out okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, hook is done. Now we're going to move on to the training. So I'll share my screen again. I guess, should we start out? I guess we'll start out on me solo again and then bring you, let's see, I need to bring you on at what step here? Let's see.
Step 1, when you're generating your podcast. Then,
okay,
then
we'll
I
do
can
the same thing. I'll bring you in. We'll start with me and then I'll bring you in.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Now we're into the content. Okay. So like much of my training, this session has a, okay, take 2. Note for the editor. We will clean this up and start from here. Like most of my training videos, I have a deck that goes along with this training. And in that deck is a list of resources, some screenshots to help you use this tool, instructions, background information, and some bonuses. If you'd like that, it's totally free. You just have to become an Ingeniosity subscriber. That's our free newsletter we put out every Friday. So I'll drop a link to that in the comments and in the description down below. Click that. You can go claim your copy and you can see the deck. It's the one I'm going to be sharing on the screen here now. So you'll be able to claim that for yourself. Just go download it by subscribing and get your chance at becoming part of our newsletter. Okay, so as I said in the intro here, we're going to be covering Jellypod and how you can use it to make some pretty awesome AI podcasts. And then what I'm going to zero in on here is how to use those AI podcasts to get traffic. That's the important thing, okay? So we're going to be covering exactly how to do that step by step. And the first step, by the way, is we need to generate a podcast on Jellypod. And we have done some training here on the channel, which is about Jellypod and just generally how to use it. But what I'd like to do is bring the channel's very own producer, Nick, on with me live, and he's going to walk us through how to actually do this. It is very, very easy, but I think it'd be great to have him demonstrate. So, Nick, can you join me?
Hey, here, let me share my screen.
Yeah, and then here I'll change how we're viewed. That will put us off to the side there.
Okay. Yeah, so the first thing you're going to do is you're actually going to make your podcast hosts. Unlike notebooklm, where they have the 2 stock hosts, they're good, but you're stuck with them. And you don't really have any control over what your hosts sound like and what their personality is like. Here in Jellypod, you're going to create a host of your own. And that's the first step to making your podcast. You just go to the Hosts tab, and you hit Create New Host, which will take you here. Bill, do you want to give me a quick, like a sentence or two about a host you want to generate?
Let's see. Let's call it a 30-something female with a cheerful persona.
All right. And then here we'll just call her, what do you want to name her?
Let's call her Sally.
Sally. Okay. So this is just a general. Just you can also give it feedback. Like if you want someone with a particular background, like they're a business mogul, or maybe they're like a health expert, you can also include that here. This is kind of like
it would be interesting to know
instructions.
too, like how much they play this up. Like, could you make characters that sound like like orcs and monsters, and someone with a raspy voice who smokes too much? Like, I wonder how creative we can get with our
I'd like to
avatar
push it to its limits, yeah, and see how crazy it can get. So here's where you do wait, sorry, I'm a little confused. There might be some work for the editor. So this is, I actually don't remember. Okay, here we go. Never mind. Sorry, I'm being confusing. There's going to be some work for the editor. But yeah, we're going to describe the host right here. And then you hit voice design, and it will give you 3. It's kind of like in Midjourney, where it will give you like 4 pictures to choose from. This will give you 3 voices to choose from. We can give them a listen real quick.
Yeah, let's go ahead.
Splendid. I find joy in the little things, from a sunny morning to a good cup of tea. Life is a series of delightful moments.
All right, let's try number 2.
Simply splendid. I find joy in the little things, from a sunny morning to a good cup of tea. Life is a series of
I didn't like that one personally.
Not my favorite on that one, no.
Today, simply splendid. I find joy in the little things, from a sunny morning to a good cup of tea. Life is a series of...
That one's my favorite, personally.
You like that one? I think for a podcast, I probably would do the first number 1. Let's make it number 1.
Okay. We're not going to do it today, but you can also do voice cloning. And they also have their selection of stock built. They call them professional voices, stock voices built into the platform that you can choose from. But we designed our own voice today, and this is the one we're going with.
Okay. And May in the chat here while we're doing this live says, I like number 1 as well. So 2 against 1.
Fair enough. We're a democracy. Okay, so here's our host, Sally. And then what was the next step on the gamma? I can't see it right now.
Yeah, so here I'll steal the stage again. So then we've created our host. We've done those steps. Now it's time to create your podcast.
Right. And this isn't the podcast episode that will come next. This is like the series itself. So you're going to go to the podcast tab. Then you're going to hit create new podcast in the upper right corner.
Okay. So you create the podcast as a whole. So the name of the podcast, the theme, whatever else of the whole podcast. And then you make your episodes inside of that, right?
Right.
Okay.
So real quick, I guess just for demonstration purposes today, is there what sort of podcast did you want to go with?
Let's do a podcast on, how about we'll stick with the theme of healthy weight loss for busy professionals.
Okay. What do you want to, what should the title be? And what about the title? The name for the series?
Let's see. I don't know. Call it healthy under stress. But I don't know. I can't think of something.
That's good. Let's go with that. And now we get to choose our hosts. And let's go with Sally. And then this one also comes stock. Eric's built in. So we'll have Sally and Eric be the host for this one.
Okay.
Let's create a podcast.
Oh, and by the way, a little aside, Nick. So note for editor, you can clean this little section out, but you see that thing showing there that says StreamYard is streaming. You can click hide so that doesn't show up in the recording. There you go.
Oh, whoops. Okay, cool. And it'll even generate, once it's done, it'll even generate some cover art for you.
Oh, okay. There we go.
So here's our podcast, and the next step is to generate. Now that we have our hosts and we have our podcast, we can generate the episodes for the podcast. And to do that, you just hit new episode, and you're going to start by giving it sources. Let's see. Is there real quick? Did you want to send me a link to like a health article or something like that?
Yeah. Let's do this. You know what we can do? Let's go to, if you have chat, do you have Chat GPT up? Or I'm trying to think if we could just ask somebody for a list. So you get to turn search on and say, please give me a list of 10 articles about healthy weight loss for busy professionals.
Okay.
Let's see if it'll give us a list of URLs.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, ask it
By the way,
specifically.
you came on the fly.
Ask it specifically to give you a list of URLs. I'm hoping you can just copy and paste them all, but
yeah.
Can you add more than one source at a time?
Yeah, you can. I'm taking the links from the ChatGPT conversation and adding them in.
Okay, I think that's enough sources just for the purpose of this.
Yeah. Okay, so we have 3 sources.
Okay. Now, keep in mind that these sources can be your articles on your own website. You can point them to sales pages of your products or services. You could point them to affiliate products. If you're promoting and selling affiliate products, point them right at the pages that sell those products. So these resources can be anything. And then it also allows you to upload files and text too, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. All right, let's keep going.
Cool. So now we have its sources. We're gonna hit create. Oh, and I guess it didn't like this source, so I gotta take this one out. But no.
Okay.
So what it's gonna do next is it's going to generate, based on the sources we gave it, it's gonna generate an outline for a script it's going to read. You don't have to go with that exact outline. You can edit it, rearrange it, add more sections, take away sections.
That's one of the great strengths of this tool over using notebooklm. Whereas notebooklm, you can get access to it for free or inexpensively. Jellypod is also very inexpensive, but it gives you extensive control over what the guests are going to say, and you can guide and generally steer the notebooklm podcasts. But here we can control it precisely.
Right. And it took a second, but this is the outline it came up with. It's divided into sections. They call them chapters. You can add chapters right here. I know you can rearrange them if you want. But honestly, I'm kind of happy with the arrangement we have going on here, unless you want to make any modifications.
No, I think that's good. I mean, it's good to know that you can edit this outline. So like, let's say you want to have the guests cover a specific topic, you just put it in here and they'll cover it. So I think that is a powerful feature, but we're going to, just for speed of doing the demo, let's just carry on and we'll take what they gave us.
Yeah. Okay. So now to turn the outline into an actual podcast script, we're going to hit generate script. And this step will actually take a few minutes. So while it's busy generating the script, I just want to point out how cool it is that you can actually do this with notebooklm. You're kind of at the mercy. You can feed them instructions, but the 2 hosts can kind of steal the show and just talk about whatever they want. And sometimes they don't really listen. Jellypod isn't like that.
Well, it's funny. I've even had, like, I'll take a weight loss product and I'll feed it to notebooklm, and the guests will actually start to talk crap about the product that I gave to them, right? I've actually had that happen multiple times. So this, I like that you can steer it and keep them on task. Yeah.
Right. And I haven't done this yet. I've played around with it a little bit, but because in notebooklm, it's just it's the guy and the girl, the two hosts. With Jellypod, I think you can have more than two. So you can kind of have a round table environment.
Well, I think it's funny, the idea of having characters that can do a podcast. I saw you playing around with doing one about the show.
Succession.
That's right. Yeah. So how successful was it at trying to clone those voices?
So I didn't. That's a good idea. I didn't clone the voices. I just gave it like a description of some of the characters.
Oh, okay.
It was interesting. I think that would be a funny experiment to take some characters from different shows, like the cast.
Can we take all the presidents? We can take all the presidents that we have and put them in a pod and do a podcast.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I like that idea. All right. So while we were chatting it up, it came up with the script, which based on the outline. So,
which is this script editable? Can you edit this?
Yeah. So this is the literal verbatim transcript. It's gonna have the AI read.
Yeah, you have so much more control with this tool compared to notebooklm. So again, for the sake of speed, I know you could go in and really extensively make this to be exactly what you want, but for speed of the demo, let's just carry on. We'll just go with what they gave us.
Yeah. So once you approve of the script, hit generate audio, and this shouldn't take that long. When it generates a script, it takes a lot longer than it takes to generate the audio usually.
Yeah, and then don't forget, the point of this training too is how we're going to use this to get traffic and sales to your website. So we're doing this quick demo so you can see exactly how to use the tool. And then I'm going to talk about what you do with the podcast in order to turn that into traffic and sales. So we will be getting to that in just a couple of moments. And I am curious, while we're waiting for that to be generated, if you could let us know in the comments below, just down there, drop in there and let us know, are there any particular subjects that you'd like to do a podcast on? Is there maybe you are an affiliate for health products and you want to do a health podcast, or maybe you have a business, maybe you're a chiropractor and you'd like to have a chiropractor podcast that they do for your business. Whatever it might be, what topics would you like to create AI podcasts on? I'm very curious of what you'll use this for. Let us know in the comments below.
Yeah, so it made us a 7-minute podcast. Do you want to take a listen?
Yes, yeah. And then one other little tidbit I'll drop before we listen to that podcast. We have 65 different sources that you can get traffic using this podcast that Nick is about to generate here. And we're going to cover that a bit later. So stick around. Later on, I'm going to show you all 65 sources of how you get traffic using the podcast that we just made. Okay, let's do it.
Changing your habits can feel overwhelming, can it? But the truth is, meaningful change often starts with the tiniest of steps. And when I say tiny, I mean things like drinking 1 extra glass of water a day, or, I don't know, taking a 10-minute stroll after dinner.
Oh, absolutely. It's like when you're looking at that huge mountain of goals, it seems impossible, doesn't it? But taking just one little step, like swapping your usual.
Yeah, so 7 minutes of that.
Okay. Cool. And then, of course, obviously, if you get to this stage and you're like not quite happy with the voices or the script or things like that, you can go back and rework it until you get that down to how you like it. So as opposed to with notebooklm, you get what you get. And one of the things that I often find too is I know notebooklm, one of the things that it really excels at is the emotion, the natural sounding a podcast that it creates. But you're just stuck with the same two people, reading the podcast and it becomes pretty limiting. I think a lot of people don't like that. So here, you might get one that maybe doesn't sound quite as emotive as you want, but by just going back and tweaking the voices and tweaking your transcripts, you can get exactly what you're looking for. And so once you get it kind of fine-tuned and understand how to use it, then you just keep doing that same over and over again, and it becomes much easier from there. Cool. So now what's next?
So once ideally you should give it you should modify it. You should make the appropriate changes, adjust the transcript, maybe regenerate the audio if you didn't like something. But once you're happy with the results, you hit publish episode. And this is what you get.
Cool. Now, I am curious if previous to publishing it, can you download it?
Yes, but you have to be on the paid plan to be able to download the audio. I think it's $30 a month.
Okay, cool. So you will need the pay plan to download it. And you're going to need that in order to do the next steps. So one of the things that what I want to really point out here is Jellypod is set up so that you put your podcasts and host them on the Jellypod website. So as you can see on the screen there, the whole podcast is hosted by them. So if you look up in the address bar of that, it is, oh, there you go. You'll see it has a link directly to your podcast, links directly to your episodes. And this is really convenient if you don't have your own website. So if you don't have your own website and you don't want to have your own website, it's pretty convenient, right? But for people like us, we want to drive traffic to our website, not to Jellypod, right? We don't want to help Jellypod get more traffic. We instead want to capture the traffic ourselves. And so we're going to do that by first, we're going to download that podcast episode. And you saw there, if you published your podcast, it's going to appear on the Jellypod site like you see there. But what I would recommend is not publishing it, just saving it as a draft and download it from the Jellypod dashboard. And so then you don't ever publish your episode and put it on the jellypod.com website or jellypod.ai website. Instead, we're going to go over to your website and we're going to publish it there. Does that make sense?
Makes sense to me.
Okay. So then what I would like to do now is we're going to talk about how you do that. And can you pull up SoundCloud?
Yep.
Okay. So SoundCloud is a service that will let you host audio with them, and then they will give you like a little snippet of code that you can paste onto any web page anywhere to have your hosted podcast. So you'll just upload the file to, you'd sign up for the SoundCloud account, upload your podcast episode, and then again, they give you it's code you copy and paste into any web page. But there's another alternative as well, and I'm going to let me do this. Give me just one moment while I try to do this. Just log it in off screen so I can show you a different way that you can do it. Nick, can you drop the, note for editor, you can clean this up and edit this out, but Nick, can you download it and drop it into Discord for me? I don't know if you can upload files in Discord, but.
Yeah, give me a second.
So for everybody wondering what we're doing, I am going to show how to upload the file to your website directly if you don't want to use SoundCloud. Okay.
Okay, send it over.
Okay. So I'm going to download that. So stand by, everyone, while I download this. Download it to my downloads. Save. Just make sure it's there. Okay, pretty sure it's there. Okay. So bear with me here while I do this. Okay, I am ready to share the screen. And so what I'm going to show you now is if you're on a WordPress-based website, and if you're on my platform where we build and host websites for you, we have a whole AI platform that creates the entire website, sets it up, and hosts it for you. You would have access to a dashboard like this one. And so what we're going to do is we're going to come over here to our media library and say add new media file. So we've clicked that, and you can get that over here in your dashboard. And when that loads here, we're going to select our file. So I'm just going to go to my downloads where I've downloaded that file. We're going to upload it. And okay, it's busy doing its thing. It'll take just a moment for it to upload. And there we have it. It has been uploaded. Okay, so I'm going to click copy to clipboard just so I have it handy. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you if we were going to make a new page. So let's say I was going to make a new page on this website. This is just a demo website that I use for doing live demos and showing some of our technology. So we're going to call this healthy weight loss demo. Okay. And we have a drag and drop page editor that we use to build our pages called Beaver Builder. So we're just going to click that. And again, this is the exact steps. If you're using a site that we built for you, then it will look just like this. But if you have WordPress, you'll have, depending on what you have installed, you'll have different options, but you can do something very similar to this. And you're going to want to then use whatever your page editor is that you're using on your site. You're going to want to use it to embed that audio file. Okay. Okay, stand by while I think our demo site is having some issues. Okay, they might be working on the demo site. Let me just check with the tech team and see. Okay, no, we got it here. So in here, we're going to say, I'm not going to design a pretty page today. Instead, I'm just going to make something very, very simple. Okay, so there's that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and you see this little audio one. I'm going to drag and drop that onto the page. And then it's going to prompt me to tell it what audio I want. And so we can see here from the media library. So we're going to say add audio files. And then we can come over here to the files that are in our media library. And I think that is it. Okay, so what am I doing wrong? Okay, so there is the file.
Changing your habits can feel overwhelming, can it?
Okay, so we can say add to audio playlist, update audio playlist. Okay, there we go. Now it's included. And then we say save. Okay, and then we can see we now have a player with our audio file in it shown on our web page. So now you have two options, and this is how you would do it with WordPress, or you can use SoundCloud to upload and host your files as well. And so if I published this page, this is now embedded in my web page. So let's do this. I wonder if I can do a preview. How am I going to preview this? Let's go with, here we go, preview layout. So this is what the page would look like. And you can see here, I have the player on the site ready to play the audio file. Okay, maybe because I didn't publish it, it's not ready yet.
Changing your habits can feel overwhelming, can it? But the truth is, meaningful change often starts with the tiniest of steps. And when I say tiny, I mean things like...
So there you go. And so now that's embedded on our web page. So why are we doing this? That would become the big question. Now, note for editor, there'll be a bit of cleanup to do to tighten all of that up and make it pretty seamless. But so please tighten that up and make it look well, and then we'll cue into here. The reason you would want to put this in your web page is because you want to drive the traffic to your site, not to a site like Jellypod or some other place. And there's some really cool extra things that we can do now that the page is hosted on our very own website. Let me show you how that works. Okay, go back here. So because we have listed it on our web page, we can do something called podcast directory submission. Okay, so there are a ton of places where we can actually list our podcast, and it will appear all over the web in these directories and places where people that are looking for podcast episodes go to search for our podcast. And then now when they click, they're going to come to our website and end up on our site. But there is another benefit to this far beyond getting traffic directly from our podcast. Every single place that we submit our podcast to will link back to our website. So think about this for a moment. If you're familiar with how getting free traffic works, like if you want to get free traffic from Google or Microsoft Bing or any search engine, you must have links. Links are like the #1 factor when it comes to determining if you're going to rank in the search engines. So think about this for a moment. We've taken this Jellypod tool, we've turned it on its head, put it on our website instead of theirs, and now we could go submit our podcast to their simple forms that you just fill out and submit. And then now our website will be listed in all of these different podcast directories with a link pointing back to our website, where we can now capture all the traffic. We get all the authority from all of the links pointing at our website, and it helps us rank in Google. So now we have 2 places we're getting traffic. We're getting traffic from the podcast directories directly when people want to listen to our podcast. But second, we're going to now get additional free traffic from Google because of all of the links that we just got from this process. It is incredibly powerful as a traffic strategy. And so let's take a look here. As your bonus for hanging out with me all the way to the end of this training, you'll also be able to get a giant list of these, okay? Let's see. Okay, I've skipped ahead, okay? I skipped ahead a little bit, so we'll do this a little out of sequence. Note for editor, again, more cleanup for you. But we have 65 different podcast websites and directories that you can submit your podcast to. There is the full list. Link to this will be in the description and in the comments, so you can go download this deck and get these. Each one of these is a link where you can submit your podcast. Every one of them can give you a very powerful backlink that will point back to your website. And now, if you're a little unsure of how you turn this into profit, I have a special video training on the channel. I'll link to that so you can go watch that next. If you're unsure of how to take the podcast clicks and all the visitors coming to your website and transform them into traffic, then watch this next video. I'll link to it at the end. So when we wrap up the video, you can go watch that one. And that goes into a much more deep dive of how you actually turn podcast clicks into cash by promoting and selling different kinds of products and services with affiliate marketing. So you can check that out. And with that, producer Nick, did I miss anything? Why do I feel like I'm missing something?
Yeah. I'm not sure how to go back because the sequence was to submit to podcast directories, have the traffic, go back to your website, capture them in your list, and then mail your list affiliate offers. That was the original training.
Okay.
That was the deck. And you went and you showed how to submit to your website, and then you talked about the podcast directories, which was step 2 and 3. So you kind of left off at 3.
Okay. I think we'll just have to edit it together the way we got it.
Got it.
Okay. Then, all right. Well, we're going to have to we'll just clean it up and make it work with what we got.
Okay.
Okay. So. So don't forget to download that deck. It has all the resources, the podcast directories, the places you can submit, and the video training that you can go watch next about how to monetize this with a mailing list. So you'll learn how to take this traffic, turn it into a mailing list and into money that you can put in your pocket. Now, I hope this video was useful. If it was, give us a thumbs up. It helps the algorithm to understand that this video was useful. We'll show it to more people, and I can get the word out about this powerful strategy. And also drop a comment below. Make sure you let me know what you're going to be doing a podcast about. What topic, what concept, what niche. Let me know what kind of a podcast you're going to be making. Drop those in the comments below. Of course, don't forget to subscribe. If you're not already a subscriber, we release content like this every week on how to make more money, how to build a brand new business, how to grow a business. Content is continuously coming out, and I am live every single Wednesday. So make sure you subscribe. Follow me on social media. I'm on all of the things. So I'm over on X, Facebook, Instagram, and all the others. And with that, we're going to wrap it up. Thank you very much. See you next time. Goodbye for now. Okay, audience, we're not going anywhere. We're going to do all of your questions. And let me see here. Okay, cool. Then I think we're good there. Cool. All right, so then with that, I need to rest my voice for just a moment. So we're going to take a very quick commercial break, and then we're going to be right back with all of your questions. So we're opening it up. It's now Ask Me Anything. So you can ask questions about Jellypod, about this strategy, or about anything at all, anything that I can help you with. Please ask about it in the chat. We're going to be handling all of that in just a moment. Before we do, we just have a very quick commercial break. I'll see you in just a minute. You not know, I have an AI tool that's a company called PushButton AI that helps people build course businesses. It builds the whole business, bottom to top. It helps you do the research to pick the niche market, helps you figure out what topics you should write about, what your course should be about, what the lessons should be about. It outlines the lessons. It writes the whole thing. It creates your sales page. It creates your page to get leads to subscribe to your business. It even writes your email sequence. It does audiobooks, video trainings, and a whole lot more. You just answer 2 questions and you hit a button, and it does it all. If you're interested in that, certainly you can book a demo to see it for yourself. You'll see with your own eyes. We're often running webinars and other trainings as well. So I'll drop links to either our webinar or our demos down below so you can check it out and see if it's something for you. But I found that most people get really overwhelmed and frustrated with the technical stuff. So that's why we created PushButton AI. If you're looking for a tool, we'll just do it for you, and it'll just handle the technical stuff. So when it comes to like setting up your web hosting, registering a domain name, setting up your email marketing, we even include a complete, fully functional email marketing platform that you can log into and email all of your customers and subscribers. It's all included. And all of the tech setup is done by the AI. if you want that, then definitely schedule your demo. You can get a demo from us by going to pushbutton.ai/demo. Now, at the time of recording this video, PushButton AI is not publicly for sale, but if you book a demo, they'll show you the technology, and if it makes sense, if it's something that can really help you, they'll invite you into our early access program. But what they'll do first is show you the technology. They'll talk about what kind of a course you might want to make. They'll talk about your business plans. They'll help guide you on what the right choices are for creating your first course business. And then if it makes sense, if it's the right tool for you, they'll invite you into the early access program. But check out the demo. It's mind-blowing. Again, that's at pushbutton.ai/demo. That's pushbutton.ai/demo. And here we are. So Nick, I'll bring you back on. There we are. And we're going to go to questions.
Yeah, and the Jellypod guys are in the chat right now, but if you didn't notice.
Oh, they're back. Okay. Hey, Jellypod. Yeah, we're talking about you again.
Yeah.
It's like,
all right.
Is that we need to say their name 3 times and they just appear?
We summoned them. All right.
So before we get into questions, I have a question for you.
What is it?
Why don't they play poker in the jungle?
Oh, why not?
Because there are too many cheetahs.
Okay, that one's better. That was the one just before that. Would I give it a 4? This one's a lot better.
Okay. So what is it? How do I score?
It's decent. It's like a 6.5.
6.5. Okay. Well, that works. That works. All right. So then let's get to everybody's questions.
Yeah. Chris wants to know, are you going to use Jellypod or notebooklm when you make the podcast for Commission Engine?
Well, the workflow right now has been notebooklm, but so to be determined.
All right. So Perry wants to know, so then I need to make my own cover art doing it this way.
Yes. You, if you want cover art, right, you don't necessarily have to have it, but you could. And one of the quick and simple way to make cover art is just go to ChatGPT if you have a premium subscription and ask it to make it for you with Dolly, and it will make one for you.
Yep. Brian wants to know, is notebooklm free to download? Download your podcasts rather than paying $30 to Jellypod to download their podcasts?
Yes, it's a limited number though. I forgot. Do you know what the current limit is for notebooklm for free?
I don't, but yeah. I do know. I guess it depends on what route you want to go, because you sacrifice the because with Jellypod you get to customize your podcasts. With notebooklm, you're at the mercy of what your 2 podcast hosts decide to talk about. So
yeah, there is a limit on the maximum. Yeah, I don't know what the limit is. I don't remember offhand, but there is a limit on the number you can download through notebooklm. And as Nick said, yeah, with Jellypod you get so much more customization. In my opinion, it's worth it. So yeah.
And Pete wants to know, I've just created a website and put a notebooklm podcast on it. How can I get traffic to my website now?
So you can still, the technique that we taught here, you can still do that with no matter what source you're using to make your podcast. Point is, you need a podcast audio that you can download, whether you generate it with notebooklm or whether you use Jellypod. Either way, you just need to have that and put it on your website. So you're not missing out on anything. So you can still do all the podcast submission. You can still use this strategy to get traffic. No problem.
Cool.
What's next?
All right. So this is from Regina. She says, sorry if you mentioned it, had to walk away for a moment. Do I put the podcast link created on Jellypod on a blog post or page for podcasts on my website?
Yeah, so definitely rewatch the end of this video and you'll get a more in-depth answer. But for for the method, we're speaking specifically for the method that I taught today, you're going to want to download it from Jellypod and then either put it in SoundCloud or upload it to your website. So.
Great. This is from Tim. He says, is Jellypod one of the add-on packs that can be purchased for the different Job Crusher AI programs?
Not currently. Actually, I hope to have a discussion with Jellypod, which I know we're going to be chatting with them more in depth. And I would like to actually start to use some of the Jellypod services for our customers. But nothing I can announce yet. I need to have a discussion with them. So Jellypod out there, we want to talk to you. I know you emailed Nick last week, so we're going to be following up and having a conversation.
All right. Let's see. I'm just finding my spot because I scrolled all the way down. Brian wants to know, where is the podcast directory?
Well, there's a list of a bunch of podcast directories. There's 65 of them that you'll get when you download the deck. So make sure you have an Ingeniosity subscription. So that's at pushbutton.ai/subscribe. And the list of all those directories are in that document. So that will be being added. So this deck will be being added to the library soon, like in a couple days. Nick, what do you think?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, a couple days. And then Chris wants to know, what if you also have a Shopify site?
I don't know the tools on Shopify. I would imagine that you could use the why can't I think of SoundCloud? So I would imagine you could use the SoundCloud embed to put it onto your Shopify site. I don't know if you can upload audio to Shopify. I don't use Shopify myself, so it's tough for me to give you some exact answers. But I believe you would be able to do the same process just using SoundCloud. Yeah.
Cool. Alex says, I do pirate stuff. Can I have 2 historical pirates talking?
I like that.
Yeah,
that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. This is a good question for Jellypod. I'm curious. When you're designing the voice, if you asked it to talk like a pirate, like how are they gonna sound like rough, like true to life pirates, or are they gonna sound more like I guess modern people? Also, I wonder
making different characters for your podcast.
Yeah. You could also, you could also do voice cloning if you want to find like a sample from a pirate on YouTube or something. Maybe you could clone the voice and have him be one of your podcast hosts. I wonder what the best route is there. If you're better at voice cloning or designing a voice. Do you want to try it? Do you want to see? Real quick? Do you want to? I can hop on Jellypods and make a pirate.
Well, yeah, I think, let's do this. I think we might want to cover the voice cloning thing in a separate episode. So I think we'll see how we've got a couple of Jellypod videos. Let's see how they do on the channel. Let's talk to Jellypod. And then I might want to come back and we can talk more about that in a separate video of, the voice cloning. Maybe we can make a clone of me and see if we can make a podcast episode.
Sounds good. Let's see. I think, is that it? Okay, this is from Brian. He says, what software tool broadcasts the pods to directories? And does it auto-register to these directories?
We just gave you the 65 directories, and whether you want to give that list to a virtual assistant or you want to do it yourself, it's literally just filling in the name of your website and some other details about your podcast and submitting it, and just do that over and over again. So today we didn't give you any kind of a tool that does that automatically, but we're giving you the list of places that you can go submit to. My advice would be just to hire a VA, find somebody on Fiverr or something that will do it for you.
Cool. And Jellypod, when I was talking about the pirates, they had a contribution. They say, "We love making various characters. I've made some fun ones for Harry Potter and Star Wars universes. You can explain the voice characteristics and similar characters to get something good."
Huh, that's cool.
Cool. And that's it. We're all caught up.
All right, fantastic. So then we're going to do a final call for questions. So any questions, this is Ask Me Anything. So it can be about Jellypod. And of course, we have the Jellypod team here in the chat. So they're in there excited to help out with Jellypod questions or anything else. So if you have questions about driving traffic, about making sales, maybe you want me to take a look at your website and give you some feedback or a critique, whatever it might be, we're going to do a final round of questions. And then we're going to be wrapping things up for the day. I have a question for you, Nick.
All right, let's hear it.
How many tickles does it take to make an octopus laugh?
How many?
Tentacles.
Oh, that was, I like that. We'll say 8.5.
8.5. Well, okay. I redeemed myself for the day. All right. So I think that puts my average right around 7.3 probably for the whole day. Not bad. So, all right. So then with that, do we have any final questions?
Let's see. May wants to know, is there an AI video podcast?
Not at the moment. I mean, I'm sure you could feed these into HeyGen and try to, especially if you try to make like a single person podcast. But that would not be too hard to do. In fact, we did an episode on that, didn't we? About using HeyGen to make a podcast.
Yeah, that one's really dated. We really had to make a new one with that one. Yeah.
So I would say there is a workflow that we taught where you can make a podcast episode like that using, I would think you could use HeyGen, or there's another tool called DID where you could make two avatars on screen talking. It'd be really easy to do if you just have a single voice for your podcast. Yeah, that would be how you generate your podcast with Jellypod, and then you would bring it into those other tools to animate it.
Cool. And then Alex says, I'm starting a new clothing brand. What would you suggest to make it explode with sales?
For a clothing brand, so depends a little bit on who you're targeting, like who's your target buyer, your ideal customer profile, like are they younger people? I don't know what kind of clothes it is. But the biggest thing to think about is where are those people online? So a lot of people, they get all distracted with like, oh, I'm going to buy Facebook ads, or I'm going to try getting traffic from Google. And they're kind of getting ahead of themselves. So what I like to do before I start trying to get traffic for a new product I've launched is to be thinking about my audience. But from the standpoint of where do they hang out? And that depends, again, largely on age, demographic, if there's a particular niche that you're covering, is your clothing about, for outdoors? Is it clothing like, tennis clothing, or, you see what I'm saying? So once you kind of get those ideas, you need to spend some time brainstorming, where do those people hang out? Some of them might be on Reddit. Some of them might be there might be Facebook groups, there might be whatever. And I would spend a little bit of time. And if you struggle with this, you could even have a conversation with your favorite AI. You can head on over to Grok, turn on the deep research, and ask it. Say, hey, here's a little bit about my product. Here's a little bit about my ideal customer profile. Where would these people be hanging out online? And then when you get that list of places where they're going to be, that's kind of your starting place of how you go reach out and you go to market with your product, is by trying to get in front of them on those sites and in those places. So, and then the other thing is, if you're interested in doing influencer marketing, then you're going to learn a little bit more about where the ideal influencers are hanging out, for your ideal customer profile. Are they all on Instagram? Are they on TikTok? Where they're at? And then you could just, again, you want to step in front of them wherever your audience already is. And you do that first before you start digging into like your traffic sources. So that'd be a quick tip. And then I don't know if there's been any other feedback or follow-up questions from them, but there's a little bit of quick advice. Oh, looks like your mic went off.
I muted myself while you were
Party
helping
foul.
Alex. I know. But I was saying I found that very helpful.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, I find it a lot where people get distracted about the mechanical, like, okay, I'm going to use this traffic channel, when that's kind of jumping ahead of the out of sequence, you know?
Yeah.
Cool. Were there anything else, any other questions, comments, feedback in the chat?
Yeah. M says, where can I find presentations from past events?
So make sure you're an Ingeniosity subscriber, number one. And then we have a library that we keep. We use a tool called ClickUp. It's a project management tool. We keep our whole library there. Excuse me. I've been chugging too much coffee. So if you're a subscriber, then you should have gotten a link right when you signed up that'll help you get set up in ClickUp and access to the library. Now realize if you're an old timer, you've been a subscriber for a while, Nick is currently cleaning up the library and fixing some issues with our tool providers. And he's going to be emailing all of you a new link where it'll be very easy for you to be able to get access to all the decks. Yeah.
Cool. And Pro Se Litigant says, does it matter if we have 0 reviews?
I mean, it helps to have reviews. So I would say if you're starting with 0 reviews, that would be an important goal, is to get reviews. So that means if you have to generate sales from friends and family to get a review, if you need to, don't get fake reviews. I know there are people that will tell you advice to like load up your thing with fake reviews. Definitely don't do that. But if you can get people to buy the product and give you an honest review, or if you want to sell the product even at a loss at the beginning, that does help. 0 reviews is definitely a conversion killer. But if you have even a handful of positive reviews, then I think that does help. And Nick, you have a lot of experience with this. Like, what a difference do reviews make on your stores?
I did e-commerce, and it's a necessity. It's not just like, oh, it helps. It's if you have 0 reviews or if you had bad reviews, it's just essentially impossible to scale or make any meaningful amount of money. It's paramount, really.
Well, I remember it was a battle. Like if you would have somebody would leave a negative review, then you had to like work really hard to out-create it with a bunch more positive reviews. I remember that was a constant battle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, then I think we're going to wrap it up. Anything else squeeze in before we're done here?
No.
Okay, cool. ChatGPT just gave me a horrible dad joke. Maybe I need to switch to Grok for my dad jokes. This is like one I would have told you when you were like 4, but okay.
That was the theme of today's show. Yeah, you should try Grok.
Okay, another really corny one. Okay, enough with dad jokes. So with that, we're going to be wrapping up today's show. So Nick, thank you once again for your help. Definitely the show. We couldn't do it without you, so I appreciate that. And everybody out there who joined us today, thank you so much. And thanks to Jellypod for coming and hanging out with us again. We'll have to try that. We'll say their name 3 times next week and see if we summon them again. All right. Well, with that, we're going to wrap it up. And I want to thank everybody for being here. Goodbye for now. In 25 years of building online businesses, I've discovered that it can be a confusing and overwhelming process. Luckily, I made it through all of that, and I've generated over $100 million in results across all of my companies over the years. But for many entrepreneurs, like you maybe, you might be facing uncertainty, overwhelm, confusion about what to do next to make profit online. Whether you're starting your first business or you might be trying to grow your existing business. And if you would like to get certainty, clarity, and your own roadmap to success, then I'm offering a special one-on-one consultation. This is a one-on-one success session. It is absolutely free. And the reason I'm offering this is because I've found that if you help people understand their roadmap and their path forward, that they'll do business with you when it makes sense. So by showing you and helping you get that clarity, get that certainty, and having your own roadmap to achieve success through online entrepreneurship, I know that if it's a right fit, that you'll do business with me in the future. So I'm willing to offer this totally free to join a member of my team and learn for yourself. And don't worry, there is no high pressure sales tactics here. This is just help to help you succeed. So instead of the high pressure sales, we're going to jump on with you one-on-one. We'll have an interview session to learn a little bit more about you and put together a specific program. We'll do a follow-up call and you'll be able to join one of my experts, and they're going to help you achieve the clarity that you desire so that you know what to do, so you can make the maximum amount of profits fast for your unique situation. In this session, you're going to uncover exactly what business and marketing strategies are going to unlock the profits that you're looking for. You're going to uncover the best lead generation strategies for existing business owners. So if you've got a business that you want to expand, we're going to cover how to do that. If you're a new business owner, we're going to cover how to start your first successful business. We're going to help you deal with any overwhelm, confusion, or uncertainty on what to do next, which I find for new entrepreneurs is vital. Then we're going to help you figure out what might have gone wrong in the past, because chances are you've probably tried a few things and you might be frustrated with what happened. So we're going to cover what went wrong from past marketing efforts so that you don't make those mistakes again. Then you're going to discover unique methods of affiliate marketing that are not possible anywhere else. Finally, we're going to uncover any issues you might be having with mindset and the way you're approaching and thinking about your business so that you can learn what is the optimum way to get productivity, to stay motivated, to not go into procrastination, and actually get things done in your business. And then, if our push button business building tools are the right solution for you, we will do a personalized live demo for you, and we'll show you how our tools can help you. And if it's a good fit, awesome, we can do some business together. And if not, you come away from the session with some value, knowing exactly what you need to do next. And that helps me achieve my mission in life, which is to help as many entrepreneurs like you as possible. Claim your absolutely free success session by going to the link that you see on the screen below and find exactly how we can help you. And whether or not you choose to do business with me now or sometime in the future, or maybe we don't do business at all, I am happy to be able to help you in your journey as an entrepreneur. I look forward to hearing all about your session. We'll see you next time.
Your first business doesn't have to be complicated. That's because we're at the start of the AI revolution. Before, it could take months to launch a profitable business and start cash flowing. Now you can do it in as little as one weekend. History is littered with people who've built empires by seizing the moment. They jumped in at ground zero before the door slammed shut. Imagine if you had bought Bitcoin in 2011. You'd be set for life. Jeff Bezos, founder of Amazon, says, "We're at the dawn of a golden age of AI, and we've only begun to scratch the surface." Bezos made his billions riding the internet wave early. Now it's your turn to ride the AI tsunami to the bank. Thousands are about to cash in big time thanks to AI. But the burning question is, will you be one of them? Or will you be left in the dust? If you don't want to be left in the dust, then sign up for the Ingeniosity newsletter, where every week I'll hand you carefully researched blueprints that will help take your business from idea to income fast. Whether you're starting from scratch or looking to level up, each blueprint is designed to cut through the noise and deliver actionable steps you can implement immediately, and I would know. Because I've been able to generate over $100 million in total revenue across my online businesses over the years. You'll get my hard-won $100 million insights delivered to your inbox every Friday. And the best part? It's 100% free. Join over 5,000 other founders and business builders and get your roadmap to unstoppable growth with the help of AI. Just go to pushbutton.ai/subscribe.
Those of you who are not yet a PushButton AI customer, then you need to check this out. And all you need to do is go to pushbutton.ai/demo, pushbutton.ai/demo, and you can get a live one-on-one appointment to get on Zoom and see this powerful technology in action. And with PushButton AI, it will build an entire business from bottom to top. Everything you need, from your domain name to your logo to videos to audio lessons, an entire course that you can sell as your own, a 30-day email sequence that it writes. You can send a daily email for 30 days, all written by AI, and a whole lot more. It writes your sales page. If you're not sure how to write an expert sales page to convince people to buy stuff, it writes it for you. It writes a free report that you can give away to get subscribers to your list. It even creates and writes the opt-in subscription page to get people to subscribe to get the free report. And it goes on and on and on. It even writes your first 10 blog posts for you, and it can do so much more. Social media posts, ads, all of these things are done, and all you have to do is answer a couple of questions and push a button. Now, PushButton AI is not available to the public at the time of recording this video, and the only way to get in is by invite to our behind-the-scenes beta access. And during your live demo, we'll show you the technology. We'll actually work with you to actually map out an entire course that you could sell as your own. We'll outline the course with you together on the one-on-one Zoom call. And then if you so decide, if you're a good fit, you can come in, join our PushButton AI beta program, and be in business with that very course by the next day. Go to pushbutton.ai/demo to figure out if this powerful technology is right for you. You can register there. You'll book an appointment in the calendar. Be sure you show up. Our team will be very excited to meet you and show you how the tech works, outline your new course for you, and hopefully it's a fit and we can work together to launch your next business.